Wait for it. That was so majestic. Hello YouTube world, Pretend Farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. The last video that the Pretend Farmer posted was one on how to prepare for a snowstorm when you've got chickens. Well, I promised to make you a follow-up video when we got some snow to show you kind of everything I talked about in that video being put into effect. Well, here you go. It's early in the morning, it's just started snowing. We maybe got like an inch or so, but the chickens are well aware that it's snowing and it's already kind of affected their behavior. Going just like half a day without water is enough to kill a hen's egg production because they need that water to help them digest all the protein and the calcium and the nutrients that they use to form those eggs. They don't have it, you don't get eggs. So make sure, above all else, that your chickens have constant access to water. Now this waterer I've got here is just one of the cheap 1.5 gallon waterers like you get at Tractor Supply. But unlike a lot of them, this one actually has the fold out legs on the bottom that you can adjust. So even though it's sitting down on the floor in pine shavings, I can get it up off of those pine shavings to keep the chickens from raking those in and clogging the trough up in like 30 minutes. So works out really good for this. You can also use like a bowl or a pan if you want to. It doesn't even have to be an actual water because this is temporary. This is not going to stay in here more than a day or two, but they're really enjoying it. I'm not going to take it from them right now. And I mean, you know that whenever you have two roosters 6 inches apart from each other, the fact that they're agreeing to this arrangement tells me they just really don't want to be outside. But they're getting along fine. Bucky and Colonel Sanders here. You know, Colonel Sanders still knows his place, obviously. But everybody's being happy. Everybody's getting along. These are the smart ladies up here. They know that, you know, two roosters, an 8x8 coop, they don't want to be down on the floor. Is that good, Bucky? All right, so we got Bucky and Colonel Sanders in here with probably about 3/4 of the ladies. Where's Midnight? Because I just heard him. Oh my goodness. Midnight. Did you hoard your own group of ladies over here under the porch to have all for yourself? Yeah, you did, didn't you? These ladies here are the few brave ones that decided they didn't care if it was snowing, they were going to venture out, go in the pig pen, and have some water. And this one here is really being brave. She's actually thinking about stealing a snack from the piggies. Here again, we have two more chickens that you can tell don't want to be in the coop, but they also don't want to be in the snow either. They're trying to walk the plank here. So just like we talked about in our previous video for snow preparation, I told you that the chickens overall were going to avoid the snow. They weren't going to like it. As you can see, any other time I would be making a video, there would be chickens all around me. You'd see them back there in the run. They'd be pecking and grazing around all throughout the yard. Not today. With the exception of 1 or 2 hens, the chickens are either under the porch or in the coop. Sheltered, dry places where they can stay out of the snow. So we knew that was going to happen. We changed out the bedding in the coop so that they've at least got a clean dwelling place to hang out in. We went ahead and made sure that they've got access to water today. Now the feed I'm not going to put in their coop. And since Pretend Farmer is going to be home today, what I'll do is I'll monitor. I'll make sure that they actually go out in the evening and get something out of their feeder. If I think for some reason there's some that are not even going that far, I might set the feeder in their coop for say like 30 minutes or something, just to make sure everybody gets something to eat before bedtime. With the temperatures being as cold as they are, we're gonna have to keep constant watch on the water for both the pigs and the chickens. We can pretty much forget about the CoopWorks water silo right now. The nipples on there, as you could see from earlier, were stuck. That's something where you can, you know, if you've got a power source close by, you can get a trough heater or like a immersion style heater, drop it down into the reservoir and keep it thawed out. But here on the pretend farm, I don't feel like stringing together all the extension cords to get over there, and I've got other means to give them water for the brief time that we're going to have temperatures this cold. So I'm not that worried about it. I'm just going to leave that down and out. I'll give them water bowls and stuff to drink out of that I can constantly just keep refilling. Same with the pigs. Their water's going to freeze, but if you go out there every couple hours and refill it, they can get a drink and they'll stay hydrated. It'll get them through. Obviously, we picked the eggs because, like we said, you don't want eggs sitting in the coop while all the chickens are hanging out in there. A, when it's this cold, they can freeze and bust. And B, if all those chickens are hanging out in there, it's a good chance they're going to end up breaking one of those. They'll start eating the eggs, and you don't want to get them in the habit of eating their eggs. It's the perfect time of year for that to happen. Don't let it happen. We have kind of a brave one here that's venturing over to the coop. You know, something I've noticed is that my black chickens, I believe the Jersey Giants is what they are. They don't seem to mind the snow at all. Depending on how much snow we get, how long it's going to be around, I very well may take some straw and just kind of throw it around in their run, just to give them something kind of dry and padded to walk on other than the snow and ice. Probably what I'll do is end up replenishing the straw in the pig hut, and then I'll take what I removed from their shack and throw it on the ground outside of the chicken run, and that way everybody gets something out of it. That's what being a farmer is. You're reusing stuff, you're being resourceful. You know, nothing goes to waste. Anywhere you can, you try and save money. That's what being a farmer is all about, you know. As for the piggies, they got their little 3.5-sided hut down there with straw in it and a tin roof. They can get in there, burrow down in their straw and stay warm. Might not look ideal, but those pigs are fat. They got a lot of lard on them. They're not going to get cold, I promise you. As long as you've got a dry place out of the wind for animals to get, that'll usually cover it for just about anything. For chickens, for pigs, all of them. You got to keep them out of the wind. You got to keep them out of the elements. They can't be getting rained on all night or snowed on all night. You don't want them bedding down in the snow, but they've got that straw in there, and they'll snuggle together in there and stay warm. And that straw, they kind of burrow down in it and pack it around them. It gives them a soft, dry, warm place to sleep. As you can see, they're going to be out here eating snow today. They don't mind these temperatures at all. It's the summer heat, honestly, that's a lot harder on animals like pigs and chickens and pretty much any animals. I think they do better in the cold than they do the heat. So that's what we're doing here on the pretend farm. We're going to go play in the snow a little bit, make sure these animals stay comfortable today. If you're not subscribed to the pretend farm here, be sure and hit the subscribe button down below. The holidays are over. Too cold to do chores. We might as well make videos. So we got lots more good content coming up. You don't want to miss it. Till next time, this is the Pretend Farmer signing out.